Hi guys, Matt V's Movies back for another video, and today's a bit of a different video. It's just one of my Matt's chats. Just want to talk about collector's editions for Blu-ray and 4K. Yeah, I've just been sort of looking online, and I'm amazed at the amount of releases that we're getting this year. It just seems to be like an explosion of releases, and yeah, I just want to have a bit of a chat about it. So we're going to delve into it on the video today. So welcome back. So yeah, it just seems like there's just an explosion of collector's editions that I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, and one that I noticed that's come out, literally been announced today, and I think this is the one that's really kind of almost shocked me a little bit, is the Dune Part 2 edition, which is like a sort of a box edition, and it's for just Dune Part 2. Contains two steelbooks, two different design steelbooks in 4K, and it comes with sort of limited edition artwork, cards, maybe a poster, I'm not sure, but yeah, but they wanted £99 for this, well, £100, and yeah, to me this just seems like excessive. I know we've seen it before with the Maverick box set, but that did contain the first and the second film, but now we're going to a different place, so we're just looking at one film. Now, I don't know about you, but I picked up the HMV edition, the steelbook edition of this film when it came out release, and I was really happy with that design. It's a fantastic looking and sounding movie on 4K, and I decided to purchase like a custom slip box earlier in the year and it came with some nice art cards, and I have shown it on the channel, and I'm happy with that. And but yeah, I just see this edition and I just thought, wow, this really is quite a lot of money for something that's not what I would call necessarily a premium edition. Now, when I'm talking of premium editions, I'm talking about your sort of HD Zeta, Mantalab, these kind of editions that are very premium. You're paying for sort of exclusive steelbooks with a high gloss finish, debossing, embossing, double lenticulars. There's a lot of work goes into these releases, and they do sort of command a bit of a higher price. But what I'm now seeing in the UK market is almost just standard edition steelbooks, just being put into a box with some art cards and maybe a poster, and they really are starting to ramp up the cost of these things. I mean, we've sort of seen it, some of these standard editions, 35, 40, 45, 50 pounds, and yeah, I'm just kind of like really overwhelmed in a way at the amount of releases that are coming in the next few months. I don't think I've known a year quite like this one, where we've seen so many, and there's a lot of different labels that have come on board. I mean, one particular retailer, Rare Waves, now they have a specific page now for collector's editions, and they literally list all the boutique labels and all their collector's editions. I mean, it's done very well, don't get me wrong. They've organised it, but it just shows the amount of different collector's editions that we're getting, and I'm honestly feeling a little overwhelmed with it all. I'm getting the feeling that I did when Zavvi took hold of steelbooks and they caused almost a saturation in them. back in the day, steelbooks were quite a rare thing, and the odd one that we would get, and you really look forward to it, and you really was sort of, became quite sought after. Then Zavvi entered the market, and they just flooded the market with steelbooks, and pretty much now steelbooks are almost like a standard edition that you get. Yeah, you get some nice artwork on them, and I still pick up steelbooks from time to time if the artwork speaks to me. But now I'm just seeing these collector's editions, and don't get me wrong, I like collector's editions, and I do collect certain films. But as a collector now, I'm getting to the stage where I have lack of space, so I'm going to get into a sort of one in, one out situation now. But I'm really starting to think about do I need all of these films? And again, it depends on what sort of collector you are, what genre you're into. I think we're seeing a lot of horror titles being released this year in sort of collector's editions. So they don't actually speak to me personally because I don't collect horror. But for those of you out there that are big horror collectors, are you feeling overwhelmed by the amount of releases that are coming? Now, a lot of us, we only have a certain budget for these things. And, I'm sure a lot of you are not necessarily going to be able to pick all of these things up over the next few months. I don't know. I mean, it's all depending on your own financial circumstance. And it's each to their own. There's no right or wrong answer in this. It's a very individual thing. But yeah, for me, I just feel a bit overwhelmed just nearly looking at what's online. It's just overwhelming, the amount of choice that is available for collector's editions, let alone standard editions of films. I just wanted to come online and just do a little sort of chat about it, because wow, it's just every year around this time you do see more releases getting, more collector's editions coming onto the market. We're getting to that fourth quarter of the year, where people are going to be buying Christmas presents that run up, sort of October through to December. We always do see more releases, but this year in particular, my perception of it just seems to be almost overwhelmed, oversaturated. Just so many things that are coming through, and almost you just feel like, literally day after day, you're just seeing a new thing coming out. And for some people, that might just be, too much, that they don't know what to pick. I mean, for me, I'm not really going to be pre-ordering hardly anything myself. I'm taking a step back from this. I do have the Twister collector's edition on pre-order, but I just feel I've never seen a year quite like this one. Now, is this because retailers and manufacturers are trying to find new ways to get people to buy physical media? Is it because they're finding that people are not buying the physical media, so they're coming up with new tactics to try and to get people to buy things? I mean, some of these editions are sitting, on the shelves of HMV. They're sitting, in these websites and not selling, and then you're seeing 6 months to 9 months down the line these editions getting heavily discounted. It just makes me wonder how much it really costs to create some of these editions, and what's the markup on them. Are they really as expensive to produce as what they're being charged for? It's interesting. It's an interesting subject to talk about, but yeah, I'm just sort of overwhelmed, blown away by what I've seen online, and I may have put some little screenshots up just to show what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts down below. What do you think? Do you think there's been an increase this year? The amount of different collector's editions, and I'm not just talking about steelbooks. I'm talking about the editions with the hard cases, the booklets, the posters, the art cards, the alternative artwork, this kind of thing. I mean, yeah, there are steelbooks coming out, but some of these editions contain alternate artwork steelbooks. Yeah, it's just just something I wanted to chat about, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts down in those comments. If you're new here and you like these sorts of rambles, chats about different things to do with collecting physical media, then why not consider subscribing to the channel? I do sort of these random chats now and again, and I also do podcasts with fellow YouTuber AJ, and we chat about these things on podcasts. We bring them up in live streams as well. It's good to talk amongst collectors. How's everyone feeling, about these things? Are you happy that these collector's editions are ramping up? Or do you feel a bit like me, a little bit overwhelmed, and almost feel the market is getting a bit too saturated? And we're kind of like, for some people, they might not know, what do I do? Do I get this? Do I get that? Or do I just buy everything and put it onto credit? And there's these kind of things that it's all individual. It depends on your circumstances, and like I say, there's no right or wrong answer in this. People have to make those own choices for themselves. But for me personally, I'm taking a bit of a step back from some of this stuff, and really considering what I'm buying first, and also thinking, well, maybe in 6 to 9 months' time, a lot of this stuff could be reduced. I'm not saying I necessarily will pick it up in 6 to 9 months' time, but for those of you that are interested in these sets, maybe wait a bit. It's not always you need to jump in and buy these things, because a lot of this stuff is selling out. But as we all know, there are these scalpers on eBay that will jump on this stuff, and they'll put it on for double the price on eBay. But like I always say, a lot of this stuff will always be available further down the line. It's whether you're prepared to wait, and to pay, cheaper prices even for second-hand stuff. But anyway, yeah, I've talked enough. I just wanted to get this sort of off my chest. And yeah, if you stayed this long, thanks for watching the video. See you next time.